So, Arthur, the cartoon that we all grew up loving, the cartoon that a lot of us grew up watching before school while we woke up early. As a matter of fact, if I wasn't trying to convince my mom that I was sick so I didn't have to go to school by putting my forehead in front of the heater vent for about 5 minutes to make it seem like I had a fever, I was going to school, and before I went to school, I was waking up early and watching Arthur, or I was watching The Magic School Bus, or I was watching Schoolhouse Rock, or I was watching Reading Rainbow, or I was watching all sorts of different shows, whether it be from PBS or other different stations. For the most part back then, a lot of the stuff that they produced were wholesome, but nowadays you're seeing things like this. I mean, and it's not just a one-off, because if it was a one-off or two or something that was as rare as it is in real life, then a lot of people wouldn't have a problem with it, but we start to have a problem with it when it's injected into every single cartoon, every single commercial, effectively, every single Netflix series, every single Netflix show, every single movie, every single advertisement that's printed, or whether it be printed or digital when you walk through the mall. And I'm not joking either. I mean, if we go to, just look at what The Walking Dead, right? This is something I bring up quite often. The Walking Dead's relationships, every single one of them turned into either LGBT or interracial. Every single one within the series, in the show, right? And this is everywhere. This is everywhere. It's either on Netflix. Pretty much every movie you watch, the white guy's the bad guy, the black guy's the good guy. There's like tons of it's an LGBT relationship or transgender or whatever. It's all sorts of. They're always trying to keep playing the social engineering game, right? This is what it is. It's social engineering at its finest, and it's become overt. It's no longer covert. It's become completely overt, completely blatant. And I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to tell you the exact problem that I have outside of that with the Arthur opening a new season with a same-sex wedding and a cake. The problem that I have with the Carol Greenwalds, the Ronald Weinbergs, the Melissa Bergs, the Tony Fleischmans, the Tanya Greens, the Michael Hirsches, the Vanessa Weigels of the world who produce this sort of content to and inject propaganda and effectively try to indoctrinate children via PBS. I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to tell you the exact problem that I have with a lot of this here. During the season premiere of the animated series Arthur on Monday, Arthur, Francine, Buster, and Muffy spent most of their time trying to play matchmaker for their third-grade teacher, Mr. Ratburn. Now, first of all, Mr. Ratburn. How old is this guy? I know it's a cartoon. Obviously, the guy should be dead by now because it's been so many years. But now, all of a sudden, he's getting married. That's how you know it's propaganda. That's how you know they've just put it in there for no reason, because it's propaganda, because they're trying to propagandize children, and it's social engineering. In the end, Mr. Ratburn has his own plans. He ties the knot with Patrick, a local chocolatier, at a wedding attended by the students. Mr. Ratburn is married. I still can't believe it, Arthur says. Yep, it's a brand new world, Francine responds. The episode titled Mr. Ratburn and the Special Someone was the latest moment in daytime television to include a more diverse set of characters as it kicked off the show's 22nd season. The series, which airs on PBS Kids and debuted in 1996, follows the adventures of Arthur, his classmates, and his family. PBS Kids programs are designed to reflect the diversity of communities across the nation. Maria Vera Wellen, the Senior Director of Marketing, Communications, and Social Media for Children's Media and Education at PBS, said in a statement, okay, PBS Kids programs, Arthur she's referring to, are designed to reflect the diversity of communities across the country. What communities have rats across the country? What communities are we talking about that have rats, that have elk, that have rabbits across the country? Is that the sort of diversity that you're trying to reflect, as you say? Because she's referring to the show Arthur, she's talking about in the context of there being a gay wedding. What are you talking about, lady? It says in the episode, the students start to play matchmaker when they suspect that Mr. Ratburn might be marrying Patty, a woman they think is ill-suited for him. She's actually his sister. They try to set him up with a librarian, but that doesn't work out. On the day of the wedding, Mr. Ratburn walks down the aisle arm in arm with Patrick, his partner. They smile at each other, and Patrick winks at Arthur in the crowd. Afterward, the students eat cake, Mr. Ratburn's favorite, which was shown earlier in the episode with two toppers that resemble Mr. Ratburn and Patrick. Now, that's a reference, obviously, to the Christian baker who didn't want to bake the cake. Arthur isn't the only animated children's show to recently feature same-sex weddings or relationships. Last summer, the Cartoon Network series Steven Universe depicted a same-sex wedding in which the main character, Steven, officiated the nuptials of two female characters, Ruby and Sapphire. Another Cartoon Network series, Adventure Time, established a same-sex relationship when two main characters, Princess Bubblegum and Marceline the Vampire Queen, kissed. Yeah, we've noticed. Something that Tariq Nasheed, who most of you guys know, tweeted out caught my eye, actually. And I thought that it was pretty interesting. We've gone from, in my personal opinion, just from seeing this, and this is from Super Kids, or I can't remember exactly, Super Simple for Kids. This is cartoon. This is on YouTube, by the way. I think Super Simple for Kids produced Baby Shark as well, which I thought was fine, but I guess not, after seeing what he posted here on Twitter. He says, does anyone doubt that there is an agenda at this point? And he posts a video of basically every single time in the, giving the baby a bath. It's a man and a man. Another one. Then you go to this one here, and it's a woman and a woman. And then you go to this one here, and it's just a single father, which is really odd. Now, what was kind of interesting to me is that the first one was a mother and a father, and that was the white child, which isn't usually the case. Usually, it's the white people that they're trying to attack. I mean, look at the Gillette ad. Who's the hero? The hero is the black guy. The villain is the white guy. Any TV show on Netflix, pretty much, you're going to see the same thing. The hero's the black guy. The villain's the white guy. That's who everyone's running from. There's an LGBT relationship or whatever type of relationship that's not of the norm, trying to fit this whole diverse agenda or this LGBT agenda that they're trying to push. And so that was very interesting to me. So what I can conclude from this is that they're beginning to just attack all men. Just attack all men, completely emasculate males, destroy the men of the society, and basically, I mean, everyone knows what that leads to. You destroy the men of the society. The CEO of Skyship, which owns Super Simple Kids, looks like a militant feminist, if you ask me, in my personal opinion. Now, here's the thing. When we look at this study that came out from Brown University quite recently, a lot of you remember that. I reference it often. Brown University removed this study on transgenderism because they got a lot of backlash from the left, because the left can be very crazy, violent, rabid people, foaming at the mouth if they disagree with something that you say, such as like men and women are biologically different. They'll throw down your speakers like we saw at the James Damore and Helen Pluckrose panel. This particular paper, this particular scientific study done by a Brown researcher was about transgenderism, about gender dysphoria, talking about how gender dysphoria occurring at the time of puberty could be due to peer pressure or online influences. They called it rapid onset gender dysphoria. Okay, so let me read that again. Due to peer pressure or online influences. Due to peer pressure or online influences. Okay, you understand where I'm going like this, okay? We go to another survey from NBC News. Survey, 20% of millennials now identify as LGBTQ. It's like we went from point, I don't know what percentage, to 20% now? 20% of the youth? And I'm not sure. I mean, the study, there's a lot of problems with the study and who it comes from and whatnot. But you understand what I'm saying. I mean, this keeps going. This keeps growing because of listen, media influences culture. This is the reason why they hate online influencers so much, why they hate alternative media and people who have their own YouTube channel so much, is because they are taking the culture wars. This is what they talk about when they mean culture wars, right? This is what they mean when they talk about culture wars. If one person is trying to influence culture and they have a larger following than the mainstream media does, the mainstream media is going to try to take that alternative creator down. This is the reason why. This is one of the many reasons why the mainstream media tries to come after alternative influencers and alternative creators, is because they're tugging back in the culture war. They don't want any resistance in the culture war. They also don't want to lose any further elections, so they have to try to take these people down. So media influences culture. Not the other way around. Well, I mean, I guess you can say somewhat culture influences the media, but for the most part, media influences culture. And this is a big problem that a lot of people have in the black community, where their influencers, their role models are in the rap, like hip hop and some of the movies that you see. They're all like gang members, and they're all committing crimes and selling drugs and what have you. And so a lot of people, including myself, have a big problem with that, of course. And we just have this happening again. And I mean, we're just gonna have to watch our society devolve into absolute chaos until it all breaks down and we can start a new one. This channel and video is kindly sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Now, depending on who you talk to, some say it's only a matter of time before society completely breaks down. It's only a matter of time before we're facing a national crisis at our doorstep. Others are more concerned about an EMP attack or a localized natural disaster. Whatever the case may be, even if you believe nothing catastrophic will likely happen, it's probably still a good idea to have at least a month's supply of dry food for you and your family. So visit preparewithvincent.com today to get $100 off of a 4-week food supply that has a 25-year shelf life. We all stock up on ammo. Make sure to stock up on food too, just in case.